When you're building a business, you're not just aiming for, good enough. You're shooting for the moon. And today's deep dive is all about helping you do just that. We're going to unpack some really eye-opening stats and strategies from a document called Unlocking Business Growth Beyond $10 Million.
It's a fascinating topic because, let's be honest, reaching that $10 million revenue mark puts you in a pretty exclusive club. Less than 1% of businesses ever get there.
Less than 1%. Okay, so clearly we're talking about a different breed of business strategy here. The source dives right into this by breaking down the business landscape by revenue. What struck me is that a whopping 90% of businesses never even hit that first $1 million mark.
It's a stark reality, and of those that do break through that $1 million ceiling, only a tiny fraction, about 9%, actually make it to 10 million.
So it's not just about incremental growth. It's about understanding what separates those outlier successes. The source frames this around two key pillars, the entrepreneur and the opportunity vehicle. Let's start with the entrepreneur. What surprised me is that it's not all about some magical inborn traits.
Right. This is where things get interesting. The source emphasizes that it's more about learnable skills. Things like patience, which might seem like a personality quirk, actually stems from developing skills like active listening, emotional regulation, and strategic thinking.
That's huge for anyone listening, because it means we can actually work towards those qualities. It's not just about who we are, it's about what we can learn to do.
Absolutely. Then there's this idea that our beliefs can be either fuel or roadblocks. We all have those inner voices. But the source highlights how they can either propel us forward or keep us stuck.
Give us an example of how a belief might actually limit someone's business growth.
Think about something we hear all the time. I don't have enough experience to lead a team. If that's your core belief, you're less likely to take the risks necessary to delegate, to build that high-performing team that can help you scale.
We can literally talk ourselves out of success. It reminds me of something the source mentions that totally blew my mind. Unknown unknowns.
Those are the opportunities so far outside our current awareness that we don't even know they exist. We're not even looking for them.
So how do you even begin to uncover those unknown unknowns? It feels a bit like trying to find something when you don't know what you're looking for.
It's about cultivating relentless curiosity, consistently questioning your assumptions, actively seeking out new knowledge, and pushing the boundaries of your understanding. That's how you start to see those hidden opportunities.
It's like expanding your vision beyond what's directly in front of you. Now let's shift gears to the second pillar, the opportunity vehicle. This is all about leverage, right? Making the most out of every effort and resource.
Exactly. It's that force multiplier that can truly accelerate growth. The source breaks leverage down into 4 key types: collaboration, capital, code, and content.
Now let's break those down. First up, collaboration. It's not just about hiring bodies, right?
Definitely not. It's about building a team that's more than the sum of its parts. Think about assembling a group with skills that complement and amplify each other. We're not just filling roles, we're creating synergy.
So it's not just about who you hire. It's about how those people work together to achieve something much greater.
Precisely. Then there's capital. This is about money. But it's more than just having a lot of it. It's about using it strategically.
So many entrepreneurs get caught up in the if only I had more funding trap.
Right. But this source argues it's more about investing in areas that provide a measurable return. That could be a targeted marketing campaign, or a tool that streamlines your operations and frees up your time for higher level thinking.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, what about code? In today's digital world, this has to be a major lever.
It is. Code is about harnessing the power of software and technology to automate processes, free up your time and mental bandwidth, and ultimately scale more efficiently.
The source specifically mentions Selldone.com as an example of this.
And it's a good one. Platforms like Selldone can take over tasks like inventory management, order processing, even customer communication, so you can focus on strategy and growth.
It's like having a built-in efficiency team. Okay, last but certainly not least, content. Everyone's talking about content these days.
For good reason. Content is incredibly powerful because it lets you build your brand organically, attract customers who are genuinely interested in what you offer, and position yourself as an authority in your space.
But it's not just about throwing random stuff online, right?
Definitely not. It's about having a clear content strategy, understanding your target audience, and consistently creating valuable content that resonates with them. It's about building genuine connections, not just chasing clicks.
So we've got these two pillars, the entrepreneur and the opportunity vehicle. How do we actually start putting this into practice?
That's where the source gets really tactical. It outlines specific strategies you can implement, starting with investing in yourself, specifically your skill set.
So where should entrepreneurs be focusing their learning efforts?
The source highlights 3 key areas: sales and marketing, leadership and financial acumen.
Okay, let's break those down. First up, sales and marketing. Why are these skills so crucial, even for established businesses?
Because revenue is the lifeblood of any business. No matter how great your product or service is, if you can't effectively sell and market it, you're not going to thrive. And the better you are at it, the more successful you'll be.
It's not just about creating a great product. It's about getting that product in front of the right people and convincing them to buy it.
Exactly. It's an ongoing process, not a set it and forget it situation. Then there's leadership. As your business grows, your ability to lead and inspire a team becomes absolutely essential.
It's about creating a company culture where people feel motivated, empowered, and excited to contribute their best work.
That's a key part of it. And finally, we have financial acumen. This one might not be as glamorous, but it's critical for making informed decisions about where to invest, how to manage cash flow effectively, and how to identify those golden growth opportunities.
It's about being able to read the financial signs, understand what they mean, and use that information to steer the ship in the right direction.
Right. Now remember, all that talk about limiting beliefs. The source also offers some solid advice on how to actually challenge and overcome those beliefs.
This is so important because even if we understand the concepts intellectually, those deep-seated beliefs can still sabotage our efforts.
Absolutely. The first step is simply questioning those assumptions. Ask yourself, is this belief really true, or is it something I've just accepted without examining it?
That self-awareness is so crucial. It's about shining a light on those beliefs that might be holding us back without us even realizing it. What else can we do to break free?
The source suggests seeking outside perspectives. This could be through mentors, mastermind groups, industry events, basically surrounding yourself with people who can offer different viewpoints and challenge your thinking.
It's like stepping outside your echo chamber and getting a fresh perspective on things.
Exactly. And of course, there's the power of continuous learning. The business world is constantly evolving, so staying curious, reading, attending workshops, keeping up with trends, all of that helps you stay ahead of the curve.
It's like constantly sharpening your tools and expanding your toolkit so you're ready for whatever challenges come your way.
I like that analogy. Okay, so we've talked about skills, beliefs, and the importance of continuous learning. Now let's dive into choosing the right opportunity vehicle for your business.
Because there are so many different paths to success, right? It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Definitely not. The source stresses evaluating market demand first and foremost. Is there a real need or desire for what you're offering?
Passion is essential, but it have to be aligned with a viable market, right?
Absolutely. Then you want to think about leveraging technology to your advantage.
Which brings us back to tools like Selldone, right?
Right. Choosing the right platform can streamline your operations, boost your e-commerce capabilities, and really help you scale more effectively.
It's like having a secret weapon in your arsenal.
I like how you think. And finally, you've got to optimize your operations for efficiency and scalability.
Because as your business grows, your systems need to be able to grow with it.
Exactly. Streamlining processes, automating tasks. All of that frees up your time and energy to focus on strategic growth, not just putting out fires.
It's about working smarter, not harder. Okay, so we talked about skill development, expanding beliefs, choosing the right vehicle. What's the missing piece here?
The source emphasizes utilizing multiple forms of leverage simultaneously. It's not about picking one and sticking with it. It's about creating a synergistic effect.
So give us some examples of how this might work in practice. How can entrepreneurs leverage multiple levers at the same time for maximum impact?
Let's start with strategic partnerships. Teaming up with other businesses that complement yours can expand your reach, tap into new markets, and create those win-win scenarios.
It's like amplifying your efforts exponentially.
Exactly. Then they're securing funding wisely. This could be through loans, investors, crowdfunding. But the key is to be strategic and make sure it aligns with your long-term vision.
Don't just take any money that's offered. Make sure it's the right kind of fuel for your business.
Exactly. Of course, we have to mention automation and innovation. This is where technology really shines. Using software and tools to handle routine tasks frees you up to focus on the big picture.
It's about working smarter, not harder. And finally, we can't forget about a solid content strategy. This ties back to everything we've talked about so far. Building your brand, attracting customers organically, positioning yourself as an authority in your space.
And when you combine all these levers, strategic partnerships, Smart funding, automation, a strong content strategy, that's when you start to see remarkable results.
It's like a symphony of growth, with each instrument playing its part to create something truly powerful.
I love that. But let's face it, there are a lot of myths and misconceptions out there, especially in the world of e-commerce.
Okay, let's get into myth-busting territory. What are some of the biggest whoppers entrepreneurs need to watch out for?
The source tackles some real doozies. Myth number 1. Starting an e-commerce business is easy.
Yeah, you just throw up a website and the money magically starts rolling in.
If only it were that simple. The source points out that the easy money myth can be dangerous. Building a successful e-commerce business takes careful planning, consistent effort, and a willingness to learn and adapt.
It's about strategy and execution, not just hoping for the best.
Exactly. Myth number 2. Customers will magically appear once you have a website.
This is a classic. It's like building a store in the middle of nowhere and expecting a flood of shoppers.
Right. The source is very clear on this. You need a solid marketing strategy to drive traffic to your site. And we're not just talking about basic SEO or social media. We're talking about building a brand that resonates, creating valuable content that attracts the right audience, and engaging with your customers in a meaningful way.
So it's about being strategic, targeted, and building genuine connections. Okay, myth number 3. Lower prices always equal more sales.
This is where a lot of businesses get trapped in a race to the bottom, constantly undercutting each other on price. The source emphasizes that while competitive pricing is important, it shouldn't be your only differentiator.
So it's not just about being the cheapest. It's about offering real value.
Exactly. Think about quality, customer experience, unique products or services. You want to attract customers who are looking for more than just a bargain.
It's about finding your niche and serving it exceptionally well. Okay, myth number 4. You need a massive marketing budget to succeed.
This one can be especially intimidating for new businesses or those with limited resources. But the source argues that effective marketing isn't just about money, it's about creativity and consistency.
So you don't need to break the bank on expensive ad campaigns right out of the gate.
Not necessarily. There are so many organic marketing methods you can leverage, like building a strong social media presence, engaging with your audience, collaborating with influencers, and even good old-fashioned word-of-mouth marketing.
Those are all about building genuine connections and providing real value.
Exactly. And last but not least, myth number 5, once your online store is up and running, the hard work is over.
The set it and forget it mentality.
Right. But as the source points out, launching your store is just the beginning. The e-commerce landscape is constantly evolving, so you need to be prepared to continually adapt, improve, and stay ahead of the curve.
So it's an ongoing journey of learning, experimenting, and refining your approach.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about something that really resonated with me from the source, the concept of ignorance debt.
Ignorance debt. That sounds intriguing. Tell us more.
The idea is that every year you're not operating at your full potential. Every year you're not actively seeking out knowledge and pushing your boundaries. You're essentially incurring a debt.
It's like the opportunity cost of not knowing what you don't know.
Exactly. And the longer you wait to pay down that debt, the more it compounds, potentially limiting your growth and success.
So how do we even begin to tackle this ignorance debt? What concrete steps can we take?
The source emphasizes continuous learning, skill development, and investing in the right tools and resources.
That makes sense. But it's not just about reading books or attending workshops, right? It's about actively applying that knowledge and seeking out experiences that push us outside our comfort zones.
Precisely. It's about being proactive, seeking out mentors, attending industry events, and even experimenting with new technologies or strategies.
Because the more you know, the more opportunities you can see and seize. It's like expanding your map of the world so you can navigate more effectively.
Exactly. And this ties into another powerful concept the source highlights, the infinite game mindset.
Okay, this sounds like a whole new way of looking at business. What's the infinite game all about?
Instead of viewing business as a finite game with a clear winner and loser, a finish line to cross, the infinite game mindset embraces the journey, the constant evolution, and the pursuit of continuous improvement.
So it's about playing the long game, not just chasing short-term wins.
Precisely. It's about building a business that's resilient, adaptable, and constantly striving to be better, not just bigger.
That's a really inspiring way to approach entrepreneurship. It takes the pressure off winning and shifts the focus to growth and evolution.
It really does. And the source shares a great anecdote that perfectly illustrates the power of shifting your mindset and overcoming those limiting beliefs we talked about earlier.
Oh, I love a good story. Tell us about it.
This entrepreneur had developed a fantastic app, But he hesitated to market it because he didn't believe he was big enough or established enough to compete.
He was letting those self-doubts hold him back.
Exactly. But once he finally challenged that belief and started promoting his app, his revenue absolutely skyrocketed.
Wow, that's a dramatic turnaround. How much did his revenue increase?
It went from $5,000 a month to a staggering $200,000 a month.
That's incredible. It really highlights how much we can limit ourselves without even realizing it.
Absolutely. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the biggest obstacle to our success is our own self-doubt.
So what's the key takeaway here for our listeners? What can they take away from this story and apply to their own businesses?
The source is urging us to question those beliefs that might be holding us back, to embrace the power of continuous learning, and to approach business with an infinite game mindset. It's about thinking big, playing the long game, and never stopping learning and growing.
It's about seeing challenges as opportunities for growth and viewing setbacks as stepping stones on the path to success.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, the source also touches on something that's particularly relevant to anyone looking to scale their e-commerce business, the power of using a platform like Selldone.
Okay, we've heard Selldone mentioned a few times now. What makes it so special, especially for entrepreneurs looking to scale beyond that $10 million mark?
Selldone is an all-in-one business management and e-commerce platform that's designed to help businesses streamline their operations, automate those tedious tasks, and free up time and energy to focus on growth.
So it's like having a virtual assistant that handles all the back-end stuff.
It's even better than that. It's like having a whole team of experts at your fingertips,
Yep.
all working together seamlessly to support your business.
Okay, give us some specifics. What are some of the key benefits of using Selldone, especially for businesses aiming for rapid growth?
Well, for starters, Selldone is incredibly powerful when it comes to automation. It can handle things like inventory management, order processing, customer communications.
All those time-consuming tasks that can really bog entrepreneurs down.
Exactly. It also makes it incredibly easy to create a professional-looking online store, even if you have zero coding knowledge.
So you don't need to hire a developer or learn a whole new skill set just to get your store up and running. That's a huge time saver.
Absolutely. And here's another really cool feature. Selldone provides built-in analytics so you can track your performance, see what's working, and make data-driven decisions to optimize your business.
So it's not just about automating tasks. It's about giving you the insights you need to grow your business strategically.
Precisely. And Selldone also integrates seamlessly with a ton of other apps and services, so you can create a really cohesive business ecosystem where all your tools are working together smoothly.
It's like having all your business tools talking to each other, sharing information, and working together to make your life easier and your business more efficient.
Exactly.
Okay, this all sounds really promising. But I'm sure some of our listeners are thinking, is Selldone right for my business? What kind of business is Selldone best suited for?
That's a great question. While the source doesn't delve into the specifics of Selldone's features and pricing plans, it does make it clear that Selldone is a tool worth exploring if you're serious about scaling your e-commerce business. It's particularly well-suited for businesses that are experiencing rapid growth and need a robust platform that can handle increased complexity and volume.
So it's worth checking out, doing your own research, and seeing if it aligns with your specific business needs and goals.
Absolutely. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about some of the specific challenges entrepreneurs face when they're trying to break through that $10 million mark.
Because it's a whole new ballgame, right?
Yeah.
The strategies that work in the early stages might not be enough to get you to that next level.
Exactly. The source highlights some key areas where entrepreneurs often need to level up their game as they scale.
Okay, let's dive in. What are some of the biggest hurdles entrepreneurs need to be prepared for as they aim for that $10 million mark?
One of the biggest challenges is simply the increased complexity of the business. As you grow, you're dealing with more people, more processes, more moving parts.
It can feel like you're constantly putting out fires and juggling a million different things at once.
Right, and it's easy to get bogged down in the day-to-day operations and lose sight of the bigger picture, the long-term vision that got you started in the first place.
So how can entrepreneurs avoid getting overwhelmed by the chaos and maintain that strategic focus as they scale?
The source emphasizes the importance of building strong systems and processes from the very beginning.
It's about creating a solid foundation that can support rapid growth without crumbling under the pressure.
Exactly. And it's also about delegating effectively, building a team you trust and learning to let go of some control.
Because you can't do everything yourself, especially as you scale. You need to empower your team to take ownership and make decisions.
Absolutely. Another challenge the source highlights is the need to constantly innovate and adapt.
Because what worked yesterday might not work tomorrow.
Yeah.
The business world is constantly changing, and you need to be able to pivot and evolve with it.
Exactly. The business world is in constant flux, and you need to be willing to experiment, try new things, and stay ahead of the curve.
So it's about being agile, embracing change, and not being afraid to step outside your comfort zone.
Precisely. And this ties into another important point, the need to develop strong leadership skills.
Because as your business grows, your ability to inspire and motivate your team becomes even more critical. You're no longer just managing tasks, you're leading people.
Exactly. The source talks about how great leaders create a culture of trust, empowerment, and continuous learning.
It's about creating an environment where people feel valued, challenged to grow, and excited to contribute to a shared vision.
Exactly. And last but not least, the source emphasizes the importance of financial discipline as you scale.
Because cash flow is king, right? Especially as you're investing in growth and expansion.
Absolutely. As you grow, it's even more important to manage your finances wisely. Invest strategically and avoid overspending. You need to make sure you have the resources to support your growth without putting your business at risk.
So it's about being mindful of your burn rate, tracking your key metrics, and making data-driven decisions. It's about being financially savvy and making sure your growth is sustainable.
Precisely. Now, one thing the source doesn't explicitly mention, but that I think is really important to consider, is the emotional roller coaster that comes with scaling a business.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are going to be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt.
Exactly. And it's important to have a support system in place, whether that's mentors, peers, or even just a therapist to help you navigate those tough times.
Because entrepreneurship can be a lonely journey. Especially as you're pushing those boundaries and venturing into uncharted territory, it's important to have people you can confide in and learn from.
Absolutely. And it's so important to take care of your mental and emotional well-being throughout the process.
Because you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to take care of yourself to be able to take care of your business.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between pushing yourself and knowing when to step back and recharge.
This has been an incredibly insightful conversation so far. We've covered a lot of ground, from the importance of mindset and skill development to the power of leverage and the challenges of scaling beyond $10 million. And we've even tackled some common e-commerce myths that can trip entrepreneurs up along the way.
We have. And we've only just scratched the surface of what's covered in this document.
That's right. We still have much more to explore, including specific strategies for utilizing multiple levers, overcoming common challenges, and adopting that all-important infinite game mindset.
Stay tuned, because we're going to dive even deeper into these topics in the next part of our deep dive. It has. Crowdfunding can be a great way to raise capital from a large number of people, often through online platforms. It can be especially beneficial for businesses with a strong community or a compelling story to tell.
It's almost like turning your customers into investors, giving them a chance to be part of your journey and sharing your success.
Exactly. And crowdfunding can also be a great way to validate your business idea and generate buzz for your product or service. But it's important to choose the right platform and structure your campaign carefully to maximize your chances of success.
So it's not as simple as just setting up a page and hoping for the best. It requires strategy planning and effective communication with potential backers.
Absolutely. And remember, each funding option has its own set of legal and financial considerations. It's crucial to consult with experts such as lawyers and accountants to make sure you're making informed decisions and protecting your interests.
That's such an important reminder. Seeking expert advice can save you a lot of headaches and potential pitfalls down the road. Okay, so we've talked about strategic partnerships and securing capital. Now let's dive into another powerful lever: code. Earlier, we mentioned Selldone as an example of a platform that can help businesses automate tasks and streamline operations. But I think it's worth exploring the broader concept of leveraging code for growth.
I agree. In today's digital landscape, code is no longer just for tech companies. It's a fundamental tool that every business can use to gain a competitive edge.
It's like having a secret weapon that can automate those tedious, repetitive tasks, freeing up your time and mental energy to focus on more strategic initiatives.
Exactly. And code can do so much more than just automate tasks. It can help you personalize customer experiences, gather valuable data and insights, optimize your marketing efforts, and even create entirely new revenue streams.
It's like having a team of virtual assistants working tirelessly behind the scenes to make your business more efficient, effective, and innovative.
I like that analogy. Think about it. Code can help you analyze customer data to personalize their shopping experience, tailor marketing messages to their specific interests, and even predict their future needs and wants.
That's incredible. It's like having a crystal ball that helps you anticipate your customers' desires and tailor your offerings accordingly.
Exactly. And it's not just about serving existing customers. Code can also help you attract new ones. Think about targeted advertising campaigns, personalized content recommendations, and even AI-powered chatbots that can answer customer questions and provide support 24/7.
It's like having a virtual sales force that never sleeps.
Exactly. And as we discussed earlier, platforms like Selldone can automate a wide range of e-commerce tasks, from managing inventory and processing orders to handling customer communications and tracking shipments.
It's like having a fully integrated e-commerce ecosystem at your fingertips.
It really is. And the beauty of it is that you don't need to be a coding expert to leverage the power of code. There are so many user-friendly tools and platforms available that make it easy for anyone to get started.
That's so empowering. It means that even small businesses with limited resources can harness the transformative power of technology.
Absolutely. And the possibilities are truly endless. As technology continues to evolve, the ways in which businesses can leverage code for growth will only continue to expand.
It's an exciting time to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the last lever we discussed, content. We've already established that content is essential for building your brand, attracting customers, and establishing authority in your space. But I think it's worth diving deeper into specific strategies for leveraging content as you scale beyond $10 million.
Absolutely. As your business grows, your content strategy needs to evolve as well. You need to think bigger, be more strategic, and leverage different types of content to achieve your goals.
So it's not just about churning out blog posts and social media updates. It's about creating a comprehensive content ecosystem that educates, engages, and inspires your audience.
Exactly. Think about creating ebooks, white papers, webinars, podcasts, videos. The possibilities are truly endless.
And each type of content serves a different purpose. For example, blog posts are great for sharing timely information and insights, while ebooks and white papers can provide more in-depth analysis and establish you as a thought leader.
Right. Webinars and podcasts are fantastic for engaging with your audience in a more personal way, while videos are incredibly effective for showcasing your products or services and telling your brand story.
It's about using the right content for the right audience at the right time.
Exactly. And don't forget about the importance of promoting your content. Just creating great content isn't enough. You need to get it in front of the right people.
That's where social media, email marketing, and even paid advertising come into play.
Right. It's about amplifying your reach and making sure your content is seen by the people who are most likely to find it valuable and engaging.
So when it comes to leveraging content for growth, what are some key takeaways for entrepreneurs?
Well, first and foremost, remember that content is a long-term investment. It takes time and effort to build a loyal audience and establish your brand as a trusted source of information.
So don't expect overnight results. Be patient, consistent, and focused on providing value to your audience.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment with different types of content and distribution channels. See what resonates with your audience and double down on what works.
It's all about testing, learning, and adapting your strategy as you go.
Exactly. And finally, remember that quality trumps quantity. It's better to create a few pieces of high-quality content that truly resonate with your audience than to churn out a ton of mediocre content that gets lost in the noise.
It's about being strategic, intentional, and focused on creating content that truly makes a difference.
Absolutely. Now let's shift gears and talk about some of the challenges that entrepreneurs often face when they're trying to scale beyond $10 million. We touched on this briefly before, but I think it's worth delving into more deeply.
I agree. Scaling a business can be incredibly rewarding, but it also comes with its own set of unique challenges. The source highlights several key areas where entrepreneurs often need to step up their game as they grow.
Right. One of the biggest challenges is simply the increased complexity of the business. As your company grows, you're dealing with more people, more processes, more moving parts. It can feel like you're constantly putting out fires and juggling a million different things at once.
And as we mentioned earlier, it's easy to get bogged down in the day-to-day operations and lose sight of the big picture.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to build strong systems and processes from the very beginning. This will help you streamline your operations, delegate effectively, and maintain control as your business grows.
It's about creating a solid foundation that can support rapid growth without crumbling under pressure. And it's about empowering your team to take ownership and make decisions.
Absolutely. Another common challenge is maintaining company culture as you scale. When you're a small startup, it's easy to foster a close-knit collaborative culture. But as you add more people, it can be challenging to maintain that same sense of camaraderie and shared purpose.
It's like trying to keep that family feeling even as the family grows bigger and more diverse.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to be intentional about building and nurturing your company culture.
So how can entrepreneurs do that? What are some practical tips for maintaining company culture as they scale?
Well, communication is key. As your team grows, it's more important than ever to communicate clearly and effectively. Make sure everyone is on the same page about the company's vision, values, and goals.
And it's not just about top-down communication. It's about creating a culture of open communication where everyone feels comfortable sharing their ideas and feedback.
Exactly. Another important aspect is recognizing and rewarding employees for their contributions. As your team grows, it's easy for individuals to feel like just another cog in the machine. Make sure you're taking the time to acknowledge and appreciate their hard work and dedication.
It's about making people feel valued and appreciated, not just like a number.
Right. And finally, don't forget about the importance of having fun. As your business grows, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to celebrate your successes along the way.
It's about finding those moments to connect with your team, relax, and recharge.
Exactly. Now, another challenge that often arises as businesses scale is managing cash flow effectively.
This is something we touched on earlier in the context of securing capital, but it's worth revisiting here because cash flow can make or break a business, especially as it grows.
Absolutely. As your business expands, your expenses will inevitably increase, and you need to make sure you have enough cash on hand to cover those costs and continue investing in growth.
So it's not just about generating revenue, it's about managing your finances wisely and making sure you have a positive cash flow.
Exactly. This means carefully tracking your expenses, creating realistic budgets, and implementing sound financial policies and procedures.
And it also means being proactive about collecting payments from customers and managing your inventory effectively to avoid tying up too much cash in stock.
Right. And don't be afraid to seek expert advice from accountants or financial advisors to make sure you're on the right track.
That's such an important reminder. Having a trusted financial advisor can provide invaluable guidance and peace of mind as you navigate the complexities of scaling your business.
Absolutely. Now, another challenge that many entrepreneurs face as they scale is the need to delegate effectively. When you're a small startup, you're often wearing multiple hats and doing everything yourself. But as your business grows, you need to learn to let go of some control and trust your team to handle certain tasks and responsibilities.
It can be a tough transition for many entrepreneurs who are used to being hands-on in every aspect of their business.
It can. But delegating effectively is essential for freeing up your time and energy to focus on those high-level strategic decisions that will drive your business forward.
So how can entrepreneurs learn to delegate effectively? What are some key tips to keep in mind?
Well, first and foremost, it's crucial to hire the right people. Make sure you're bringing on team members who are competent, trustworthy, and aligned with your company's values.
It's about building a team you can rely on, not just filling positions.
Exactly. And once you have the right people in place, it's important to communicate clearly and set clear expectations. Make sure everyone understands their roles and responsibilities and how their work contributes to the overall success of the company.
It's about providing clarity, direction, and support so your team can thrive.
Right. And don't micromanage. Once you've delegated a task, trust your team to handle it. Of course, be available to answer questions and provide guidance, but resist the urge to hover and control every detail.
It's about empowering your team to take ownership and make decisions.
Exactly. Now, another challenge that often arises as businesses scale is the need to adapt to change.
As we discussed earlier, the business world is in constant flux, and what worked yesterday might not work tomorrow.
Absolutely. To stay ahead of the curve, entrepreneurs need to be agile, adaptable, and constantly willing to learn and evolve.
It's about embracing change, not fearing it. And it's about having a growth mindset, always seeking new knowledge and perspectives.
Exactly. And this ties back to the importance of continuous learning and surrounding yourself with people who can challenge your thinking and push you outside your comfort zone.
It's about constantly pushing those boundaries and expanding your horizons.
Right. Now, as we've discussed throughout this deep dive, embracing the infinite game mindset is essential for long-term success. But what does that actually look like in practice? How can entrepreneurs apply this concept to their daily lives and business decisions?
That's a great question. It's easy to talk about the infinite game in theory, but it can be challenging to truly embody it in our actions.
It can. But I think the key is to shift your focus from short-term wins to long-term value creation.
So it's about building a business that's sustainable, resilient, and constantly evolving, not just chasing quick profits or fleeting trends.
Exactly. And it's about embracing a growth mindset, always seeking new knowledge and constantly challenging yourself to improve.
It's about seeing setbacks as opportunities for learning and viewing challenges as stepping stones on the path to greater success.
Right. And it's about building a strong company culture that fosters collaboration, innovation, and a shared sense of purpose.
It's about creating a company that people are proud to be a part of, a company that makes a positive impact on the world.
Absolutely. Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to revisit the concept of ignorance debt.
That's a powerful concept and one that's particularly relevant as we discuss the challenges of scaling a business.
It is. As your business grows, the stakes get higher, and the potential consequences of not knowing what you don't know become more significant.
So it's even more crucial to prioritize continuous learning, seek out expert advice, and stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And remember, ignorance debt isn't just about a lack of knowledge or skills. It's also about a lack of awareness, a failure to recognize the blind spots that can hinder your progress.
So it's about being humble, acknowledging our limitations, and being open to new information and perspectives.
Precisely. It's about cultivating a growth mindset and embracing the journey of continuous learning and improvement.
This has been an incredibly insightful conversation so far. We've explored the power of leverage, the importance of continuous learning, the challenges of scaling a business, and the transformative potential of the infinite game mindset.
We have. And we've only just scratched the surface of what's covered in this document.
That's right. We still have much more to uncover, including practical strategies for overcoming those common challenges, building a thriving company culture, and ultimately achieving that elusive $10 million revenue milestone.
Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive, where we'll wrap everything up and leave you with some actionable takeaways to help you on your journey to business success.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into unlocking business growth beyond $10 million. We've covered a lot of ground, from mindset and leverage to the challenges of scaling and the importance of continuous learning. I'm excited to bring it all together and leave you with some actionable insights to fuel your journey to success.
I'm with you. Let's synthesize what we've learned and translate it into tangible steps our listener can take.
Perfect. We started by emphasizing the entrepreneur and the opportunity vehicle, two foundational pillars for achieving that $10 million revenue mark.
Right. And we dove deep into the specific skills and beliefs entrepreneurs need to cultivate, highlighting that it's not just about innate talent, but about developing a growth mindset and a hunger for continuous learning.
That's such a crucial point. Anyone listening should feel empowered knowing that they can develop the qualities and skills needed to succeed. It's not about who you are today. It's about who you choose to become.
Absolutely. And then we explored the 4 types of leverage collaboration: capital, code, and content, emphasizing how strategically utilizing these levers often simultaneously can propel businesses to new heights.
We talked about how collaboration is more than just hiring. It's about building a team with complementary skills and a shared vision. We discussed how securing capital wisely is about finding the right funding options for your specific needs and goals, not just chasing any money that comes your way.
We also highlighted how code has become an essential tool for businesses of all sizes, not just tech giants, and how platforms like Selldone can automate tasks, streamline operations, and unlock new levels of efficiency and scalability.
And of course, we talked about the power of content to build your brand, attract customers, and establish authority in your space.
Yeah.
Emphasizing the importance of creating a comprehensive content strategy that aligns with your goals and resonates with your target audience.
Right. We dug deep into specific challenges entrepreneurs often face as they scale beyond $10 million. Things like managing increased complexity, maintaining company culture, and navigating the complexities of cash flow and delegation.
We talked about the importance of building strong systems and processes, fostering open communication, empowering your team, and seeking expert advice when needed.
We also emphasized the emotional roller coaster that often comes with scaling a business, and the importance of building a support system, taking care of your well-being, and finding that balance between pushing yourself and knowing when to step back and recharge.
And throughout our deep dive, we've woven in the infinite game mindset, this idea of seeing business as a continuous journey of learning, growth and evolution rather than a finite game with a clear winner and loser.
This mindset shift is so crucial, because it encourages entrepreneurs to think long-term, embrace change, and focus on creating lasting value rather than chasing short-term wins.
It's about building a business that's sustainable, resilient and constantly adapting to the ever-changing landscape of the market.
It's also about fostering a culture of continuous learning and improvement within your company.
This document, Unlocking Business Growth Beyond $10 Million, truly provides a treasure trove of insights and strategies for entrepreneurs who are ready to take their businesses to the next level.
It does. And while we've covered a lot of ground today, I'd encourage you to revisit the source material and dive even deeper into the areas that resonate most with you.
Absolutely. And remember, the journey to business success is never a straight line. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt along the way.
But by embracing a growth mindset, cultivating the right skills and beliefs, and leveraging the tools and strategies we've discussed today, you can navigate those challenges and achieve your goals.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we leave you with this question. What's the one thing you're going to do differently tomorrow to move your business closer to that $10 million milestone?
Keep learning, keep growing, and never stop pushing those boundaries.
Until next time, keep diving deep.